And we are live.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Christian John. Welcome to the
Woo!
Lower Middle East Side podcast. I'm here with my friend M. Dose. Say what's up, dude.
What up? What up? Welcome to the Lower Middle East Side.
Podcast episode 1. We're very happy that you guys are here with us. We have a lot to get into. We're excited to be doing this podcast. And just really quickly, before we start discussing what we were just talking about before we started shooting or recording, just to give a little background about us, Dose and myself are two Middle Eastern American-born New Yorkers, right? And we decided wrong. You said?
I said word. We're two
word. Oh, yeah.
Two New York Habibis.
That's right. Two New York Habibis. We decided that we were going to get together and make a podcast to share our experiences with you guys about what it was like growing up in Middle Eastern households, but being in New York, being American born, and compare and contrast our experiences and just get it all out there with you guys, share it with you guys. So we welcome you guys to get involved. Please listen to this podcast, and if you enjoy it, share it with your friends. Like, comment, subscribe on all the social media platforms, and feel free to direct message us, your inboxes, or whatever all the lingo is for the
Slide up in the DM, baby. Slide up in the DM.
Whoops. All right.
Share it with your mothers, your grandma, your grandfathers, everybody. Tita, Giddu. Oh, everybody's welcome.
What's Tita and Giddu for all our American listeners is grandma, grandpa.
Right.
We got to remember that we got American listeners. We
got to translate.
Yeah, we got to.
Luckily, you got the two most proficient men in Arabic.
Yeah, exactly. Not.
I
barely know that Arabic is the name of our language, but we'll get into that because I am a very proud Egyptian American man. Anyway, Dose, how you doing? You're good?
I'm chilling, bro. I got my black coffee. I'm good. I got my club soda elixir. We're chilling.
All right. So Dose and I were just talking about actually what it was like growing up as Egyptian kids, right? And you said you're born here, right? You're born in America.
Born in the good old US of A, baby.
And your parents were born where? In Egypt?
I think Saudi Arabia, was it? No. They were born in Egypt, Cairo.
Oh, okay. All right. So when you
back in the motherland.
When you were coming up as a kid, were you more considered black, white, Spanish? What do people think that you were? Because I know like kids don't know other than those like three things besides Asian, obviously. And you're clearly not Asian because even if a blind person could just listen to you and hear that you're not smart enough to be Asian.
My SAT scores didn't qualify me to be Asian.
Yeah, no. So what did the kids in school think that you were?
You know, the beauty of it is that they didn't know what I was. First, they thought I was Spanish, right? Because they're like, let me associate his hint or hue of brown, right? Because there's like 50 shades of brown in the Middle East to South Asia,
right?
And so they're like, oh, he's probably like Puerto Rican, Colombian, something. So they thought I was Latino, but when they found that I was Egyptian, they were like, especially like as a young kid. You know, like Egyptian, it sounds mystical. They don't know what that is, right? Yeah. That's why someone like not because it just rhymed, but like the Egyptian magician, right? They're like, this guy's mystical. He's different.
Yeah, that's so true. When people think Egyptian, their minds go to like the Sphinx and the pyramids. Right? At first, they're like, oh, they think ancient Egypt, and they're like, oh, that's cool. You're like a pharaoh.
Yes.
And then they look at you, and they're like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Pharaohs didn't have those beards. You're like the 9/11 Egyptian. You're not a pyramid building Egyptian. You're a building destroying. You look more like you destroy buildings. You don't build them.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's I think that's people get confused when you say Egyptian. Their minds can go in one or the other direction.
Well, I've convinced a lot of my friends back in kindergarten that I come from the lineage of King Tut. So I am royalty. I am of Pharaoh descent. And they knew what time it was. You know, they're like, wow, this guy's Egyptian.
Wait, really? When you were a kid, you actually made kids believe that?
Yeah, I did. Because you know what? They were going to be sarcastic with me. They're like, "Oh, was your grandfather King Tut? Did you ride on camels to school? Did you live in a pyramid?" You know what I mean? All those obnoxious remarks.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember. I remember our
what?
good friend. Uh, well, I won't mention his name, but I remember when everybody had MySpace on his bio on MySpace, the first thing he said was, "No, I don't
What?
build pyramids." That's how
No, I
he
don't
introduced
build
himself on MySpace.
pyramids.
Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, no, no. So I convinced it. So I went with it, and I was like, you know what? Actually, my great great grandfather to the 10th power was King Tut. And they're like, "Whoa, dude!" Like my cred just
They're like,
went
that's
from here to
crazy. You don't
like,
know what 10th power means.
yeah,
Growing up on Staten Island, it wasn't. I mean, I didn't really feel any racism toward me, honestly. I did feel different from
right.
like the other kids, I guess, coming up in school. Like I didn't
How?
feel.
How so?
I don't know. Like because like you're not when you're Egyptian, you're not white,
You're not.
but you're not like you're not black, but you're not white either. Like I was never white enough that I could go to the St. Patrick's Day parade and rock a "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" shirt and not feel like, you know,
Right.
I'd never rock that feeling like comfortable. But then at the same time, like
People
even
do it anyways. By the way, I've seen
yeah, but you
Latinos.
got to have a level of
But
white. I don't know. Like you can't be in the middle with that. You either got to be like white, or there are black people who rock that too.
yes, I've seen it.
But
I've
I
seen it.
still don't feel like Arab is on it. Like we're not up to Arabs rocking those shirts yet. I don't. I
We're
don't.
not there yet. We're not
No,
there.
that's like
We could wear the green. We could sport the green
yeah, but
for a little bit of the look of the Irish, but I don't think
but the Shamrock. I don't know. They might not want. I
we're
don't
not
know.
there yet. We're
We're
not
not.
there.
Yeah, I'm not. I've been a Staten Islander my whole life, and I'm not up to that level of confidence of rocking a Shamrock. You know what I was thinking
Wow.
about that I one thing I loved. So going back to what we were saying in terms of like all right, black, white, whatever, blah blah blah.
Right.
Being in the city, growing up in the city, like the
Right.
five boroughs in New York, it really didn't matter like what your culture was because New York has its own culture, right? Like it didn't matter what race you were. I mean, because
Definitely.
at the end of the day, we all share like the New York urban culture type of thing. And then if you were part of the five boroughs, if you grew up as a kid in the five boroughs during like the 90s or the 2000s, we all had like different phases, right? So
Right.
like it was for us, you know, we had the hood phase in high school. Everybody was rocking baggy
Oh
clothes.
my God. Yes.
And then I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when we were in junior high school and high school?
Mm.
And then we used to all, you and I know each other from youth group
Right.
because we grew up going to the same church.
We did.
And then
Yeah.
we used to, after Sunday school, we used to all, because our church was in a ghetto neighborhood in Queens.
Definitely.
I don't know if I could say that word ghetto, but it was in a, it was in
It
a,
was.
in a
Yeah.
hood. It was in a hood neighborhood.
It was in a hood neighborhood for sure.
It was in a hood neighborhood. But anyway, but we enjoyed it. Like we loved it. That was just the only thing we knew. And hood
We
haircuts.
enjoyed getting jumped in the hood
Yeah.
after Sunday mass.
Hood haircuts were in. Hood
Right.
haircuts were awesome. So we used to go after Sunday school, and it was like the way like everybody goes out for pizza, like a group of kids go out for pizza. We would all just like as a group, hey guys, you want to go out and you guys want to like, skip Sunday school and just go get go get our tape ups and our shape ups and stuff
Get
like
a
that.
shape up.
Yeah. Do you
Right.
remember? We would
I
all just go
remember that.
we would
Right.
go to
Or we
Myrtle
go
Avenue
on Myrtle Ave, right?
in Queens. And
Shout out to Ridgewood, man.
yeah, shout out to Ridgewood, and we had like this barber shop, and it was like this hood.
Chichos.
Yeah, Chico's.
I think they meant it was intended for Chicos, but they named it. They had an extra H on the
H,
sign,
you're right.
so it
That's
was like
right.
Chichos.
Chico's
Chichos.
barber
Hey,
shop
Chicho.
on
Chacho.
Myrtle. On
Yeah.
was it on Myrtle? No, Seneca. It was on
It was
Seneca.
on Seneca.
It was on
Yeah.
Seneca, and yeah, and we would go there, and I just got some money deposited into my account, and
Ooh.
not bad.
What's up, unemployment?
What's up, unemployment? That's right. No, I wish I got unemployment. Well, I don't wish, but I'm not on unemployment.
By the way,
But,
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I was like, yeah. I was like, never mind.
But that was so much fun. And I remember being a kid, and the first time, because my parents were very traditional and very strict.
Okay.
So, and they were like, they would be very like on my ass about like making sure I look very clean cut. So it was a big deal for me in junior high school to go and get my very my
That's
very
first.
first hood haircut that with the pointy
The ice
the
pick.
ice picks. Yeah, the ice pick.
I can't stand that.
Oh my, no, but those were so cool.
No, they
dude.
were so cool.
Those were so
So
cool.
cool. But I'm talking about there's dudes still rocking that till today, like 20 years later.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes into like, I mean, after that, when we were old enough to like grow facial hair, everybody got the chin strap.
That's true.
You know?
The chin strap, but it would still be like a long.
I loved that, dude. I want that to come back.
You want that to come back?
Yes, the chin
Do
strap and the dude. That was.
Do it.
No, I don't have the. Again, we're from the white part of Africa. We're not.
We're from the white part
Egypt
of Africa.
is from the white part. Egypt is the white part of Africa. I'm not. But I love that. I mean, you got the confidence for that, dude. You rocked the man bun for 2 years. That takes a certain level of really believing in your. I mean, I'm a confident dude, but I'm not like pizza maker, man bun.
Wait, do you say man bun with pizza maker?
Yeah, every
You're just imagining like a guy just.
That's exactly right. They all have
a
man buns.
Bun?
Yeah, you go
and the white apron and.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy.
That guy.
I'm that guy. I'm Luigi that works in a pizzeria with my man bun.
I mean, yeah.
Pizzas.
You're that guy, dude.
No, but I do remember that. Those were fun days, and I remember back in the day, we used to go to our boy's apartment who lived a few blocks down, right, in Ridgewood.
Yeah.
And we give each other shape-ups.
Yeah. Oh, and some people would get zeked.
Ooh.
And then if you were the guy... If you were the guy who ruined somebody's hair, you had to do your best sales pitch or your best like acting job. You had to do like a award-winning acting job of trying to sell him that, nah, it looks great, dude. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
This is like, you should pay me for this haircut.
Having 2 holes in the back of your head is in.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
That's it's
patches are in.
It's
patches
a design.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Designer haircut.
They actually offered me a job at Chicho's, and I said no.
Chicho told me no. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So growing up in
So for those who don't know, Zeke is a slang term for screwing up a haircut.
Yeah.
Basically.
Wait, I just do that. Yeah, I guess I just did.
Yeah. No, some people don't know what that is. We can get into New York lingo.
It was fun, man. It was fun. Yeah. I remember walking around on Halloween. We used to go to church on Halloween.
Yeah, because it was all Saints Day?
It was like, yeah, we had like a saint dress up as your favorite saint.
That was the church's way of like containing us so we don't go out with our American friends. And
I remember going outside and seeing, like, I remember hearing like, oh, no, none of the kids are allowed outside. Tell them not to walk outside the church because there were Latin kings walking around.
Oh, there was.
And then the church got egged.
They had the super soakers filled with piss.
What?
Yeah.
I never heard about that.
No, for real. And they used to hard boil the eggs. Guys.
What?
Yeah, no, listen.
Dude, that'll cause like damage.
No, like it was no joke. Halloween.
That'll break a windshield, dude.
Halloween in New York City, especially in the urban areas.
I've never heard of super soakers filled with piss.
Yeah, it was not fun. It was not fun. It was dangerous. That's
crazy.
Why we weren't allowed out. It's either church or you stay home.
Yeah.
Or else you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy, but growing up in New York was fun.
Definitely fun.
I wouldn't trade that experience for the world.
I agree.
It's funny because one thing that I wanted to do that I know you and I share our vision for this podcast is kind of sharing with the listeners, our experience of our parents kind of running one culture inside our household with us experiencing a whole different culture the moment we
step foot outside
leave the house. Exactly.
Right.
And our entire lives, we had these experiences. running at the exact same time, all our years. And it kind of cultivated who we both are today.
That's
But
true.
obviously society wins. Like my number one culture. I mean, people look at me and
Right.
I don't know if I said this already, but people like look at me. People who've been here for a long time, like they're like third or fourth generation, like whatever. They're just like Americans, and their parents and their grandparents are Americans. They don't
Right.
really understand immigration, I feel like, you know,
They
because
don't.
they'll look at me and they'll be like, oh, because I look ethnic, and they'll be like, oh, where are you from? Like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm Egyptian. I'm just answering what I look like. I'm not really answering where I'm from. And the moment I say, oh, I'm Egyptian, they're like, oh, so how do you like it in this country? And I'm like, wait, no, I don't think you get it. Like, I'm
You gotta. I was
actually
born here,
from,
guy.
yeah, I'm like actually from Staten Island. But then the moment you say Staten Island, they're just like, oh,
Oh.
yeah. A massive disappointment like washes over them.
This is a
Like
lose-lose for you.
yeah, like they'd rather I say I'm like from Al Qaeda than Staten Island. So,
Oh.
but yeah, so we grew up, and so yeah, so I was saying I'm like a New Yorker through and through, and it's the same with you. That I'm a proud Egyptian American, but
Yes.
being a New Yorker really is my culture first and foremost. You know, an American and a New Yorker above all that. You know what I mean? And
I agree with you. I was going to ask you, what do you, because even for myself, I identify more like what I relate to more. Me being Middle Eastern and a New Yorker is, I think my New York culture definitely, like New York culture and my New York background
yeah,
dictates a lot of what I
yeah,
do and how I think.
yeah, for sure, dude. It's hard
Yeah,
to say. Listen, like we're Americans, so like I
we
mean,
are. But
oh,
New York Americans, because for
exactly.
those who are listening from Australia, people from Mars, we have listeners from everywhere,
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah,
But America, being a New Yorker, is very distinct in most states and cities.
right,
Very, very different. It's like
right.
being in two different countries when you compare different states.
It is. And even to say like when people are like, I mean, when we say proud to be an American, I'm super proud to be an American. I mean, that's like, because I mean, that's all I've ever known. I mean, I'm born here and my whole culture is American. I just look
Right.
different. You know what I mean? And what I was going to say before is it's insane that our experiences, at the end of the day, society wins. And I'm literally a different culture than my parents.
Yes.
Like all my American, like my Irish and Italian friends from Staten Island, they don't really understand that, I don't think, unless their parents came off the boat. But for most of them, they didn't. Most of my friends, at least, they didn't. Their parents are
Mm,
as American as they are. So
right.
my friends, like, don't really understand that. Like, I walk into my household, there's a language barrier between me and my parents. I don't even understand what my parents are
Right.
saying, and especially when they're yelling at me and they're going off. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you're saying. Like, call me back when you're, you know, ready to speak English. But anyway,
He was on a phone conversation with
yeah,
them.
they go
He's like,
off and
Ma,
I don't know.
no habla Arabic.
Yeah, yeah,
Hung
exactly.
up.
You know what I was thinking
Wow.
about?
Yeah.
Uh you and I both have shared experiences about having like a very spirited, for lack of a better word,
Right.
mothers.
I like that. Spirited.
Our mothers are both very spirited people,
Spirited.
high energy people,
We're
if you will.
spirited.
Yeah. So how's it?
Passionate.
Yeah. How have you been dealing with? You know, how's that been during the quarantine for you?
It's interesting.
So how's it?
Passionate.
Yeah. How have you been dealing with? You know, how's that been during the quarantine for you?
It's interesting. I mean, quarantine or not quarantine, my mother is who she is. She's a very strong, ethnic moms, I think, are just very strong willed, very strong personality. Could be overbearing at times.
Do you think Middle Eastern women are high maintenance?
Yes.
No
Yeah.
way, really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what my mother once told me. She told me, she was like, make sure you, if you're going to marry a Middle Eastern woman, she told me this. I didn't say this.
Okay.
She said this to me. She was like, make sure you marry, maybe she was knocking me in the process saying this, but she was like, make sure you marry an Egyptian woman and not any other type of Middle Eastern woman because
Why?
they put up with the most shit.
Egyptian women.
Egyptian women put up with the highest level of a man's shit.
Of crap. Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's true. And does that even apply to our American generation anymore? Probably not. But
I feel like a Lebanese woman, a Jordanian, Morocco, I think all Middle Eastern women, right, would claim the same too.
what, that they put up with a lot, that they have high
Yeah,
tolerance for BS?
definitely, because they're going to say, then they're going to implicate that Middle Eastern men are a lot to deal with, right?
Yeah. Once this quarantine is over, where will you be leading our people, man? What's going to be the go-to spots?
But yeah, no, they're called ahwas, which translates to coffee shops, right? And it's just a hangout where people go, they converse, they meet up, they play board games, they play card games, they talk smack, right?
It is a chill atmosphere. It really is a chill
It's
atmosphere.
chill. It's chill. I think Astoria, Steinway Street specifically simulates that for us, where it's like a taste of the Middle East, but here in New York, right?
I feel like Steinway is like the Jersey Shore for Arabs.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for MTV to come out with a reality show for you. You're the Paulie D of the Middle Eastern world.
Muhammad D.
Yeah, you're M. Yeah, M. Dose. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I feel like. Like we need a reality show that takes place on
Right.
on Steinway.
Hosea the sweetheart.
Five shawarma makers move into an apartment together.
The family, the Sunday family dinners is just a bunch of shawarma, grape leaves, macaroni bechamel.
Yeah, exactly.
They're breaking bread together. They're breaking pita bread together.
Instead of a duck phone, there's a goat phone.
There's a goat phone. Yeah, because they had the duck phone.
No, yeah, you would go great on that show. Know what I mean? I would never make it onto MTV's Astoria Shore.
Astoria Shore.
I wouldn't make the cut. So yeah. I miss some things. Like I was thinking about it.
Tell me.
It's fun, but like being all outside and stuff, like old school. But I do, it's weird. I miss the mall.
The mall.
I miss going to the mall, walking around in the mall. I like the mall. People like trash the mall, but it's like, for me, it's like a psychologically happy place.
Listen, it's like it's a social club. Like you go over there, you chill, you people watch, you window shop.
It's nice. Like the floors are more like, it's nice. It's like, it looks luxurious. I like going.
Well, depending on what mall, for sure. There's
I like going to Tourneau and like looking at like Rolex watches and stuff like that.
Big watch aficionado right here.
Yeah, I like my watches, but especially on Long Island too. Like I'm living on Long Island now.
Oh, you're there.
I'm living on Long Island now. Yeah,
my man.
So and the malls there are like so nice. Like other malls are like kind of like
Where do you frequent?
More rundown. I like Roosevelt and stuff.
Roosevelt's good. I like Roosevelt.
The Walt Whitman Mall. Dude, I went to the Walt Whitman Mall. That's a pretty nice mall. That's
a what?
That's a pretty nice mall. Like I was like, for example, like it was so nice that I was in the men's room.
Right.
And I needed to like, drop a deuce. Every once in a while you get in that situation where you're like, you're not gonna make it to, you can't wait until you get home.
Right. And if there's any place you wanna drop a deuce, it's the mall. Those bathrooms.
Some of the bathrooms are nice.
Yes,
this
they're
one
very nice.
So particularly nice. So I'm sitting there and I'm doing my business.
Right.
And you hear some music, from the loudspeaker and stuff. And it was like I'm listening to the music and I'm like, wait, this is like Mozart's like Third Symphony or something. I was like, this is like I'm like, this is like kind of like a luxurious experience. That's how upscale this mall is.
It was a spa. You felt like you were in a spa taking like.
Yeah, it was like it was like the classiest shit I've ever taken. Like I felt underdressed to the experience. But yeah, like I miss going to the mall and like particularly in Long Island, the places here are nice. So yeah, I don't know.
Next time you went to Walt Whitman, did you wear a suit just in case?
Yeah, just in case you need to take a dump.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's gonna be good. I'm also looking forward to hitting the beach as well, man.
Shout out to Toe Bay, baby.
Toe Bay. You know where
it's exclusive. Town of Oyster Bay residents only. Everybody else, get the hell out.
You remember when we got rejected last year?
But I live in Nassau.
Yeah, but I live in Nassau.
But
Yeah.
I live in Nassau. I just have. I know. I just live in the city during the winter.
So then you got us into Robert Moses. Was it Robert Moses or I can't remember which beach you got us in for free. You were like, yeah, we're here to pick up my sister. And they're like, all right, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And then we just drove right in.
Little 15-year-old work at the booth.
I was like, yeah, his sister's a dolphin.
She's a dolphin.
We just went right in.
Looking forward to the beaches. That's always a good time.
It really is, man.
I love the beach. I love the beach.
Are you? If you had to compare, I mean, I know, like, you might be partial, but if you had to compare Long Island to the Jersey Shore, the Long Island beaches.
I'm a New Yorker, so Long Island all day. Jersey Shore is definitely fun. Childhood memories. I used to
of course,
with Seaside Heights.
All right, if you had to pick Seaside Heights, Seaside Heights, Point Pleasant, or Wildwood, between the three.
Wow, Point Pleasant or Wildwood. I don't know.
Or Seaside.
Or Seaside. My parents took me more to Wildwood when I was younger.
So you have like.
But Seaside is more for people in their teenage to 20s, and I guess there's still people partying in their 30s and 40s.
A lot of ratchet memories at Seaside, huh?
Yes, definitely. I would say that's more ratchet, but I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know. Actually, quick funny story. Back in the day, do you remember like calling like different boroughs or New Jersey? It was long distance, right? Remember MCI, 25 cents a minute?
MCI, whoa.
Right? Bell Atlantic, that's a throwback.
Dude, MCI and AT&T were serious competitors. That was like the Mets and the Yankees.
It was the Mets. It was a Subway series.
It was a Subway series between those two telephone companies, yeah. But did you just throw out Bell Atlantic? You said Bell Atlantic?
Bell Atlantic, bro.
That's right.
That's a throwback.
That's right.
So it was long distance. Back when I was 14, one of my AIM girlfriends, right? She gave me her number, and I was calling her in Jersey, and I racked up a bill of like $300. My mom came up to me, and she's like, "What is this? 300? Who are you calling?" She cursed me out in Arabic, right? And I had to find a job so I could pay the $300. So I went to the classifieds section in the newspaper, old school. I'm like circling, and I found a carpet cleaning service company, right? And the job was to do telemarketing, to book appointments to get your carpet cleaned for $7 an hour at 14 years old. I'm like, you know what? That's not a bad gig. I had my dad drop me off, and it was like it was just in an open store, like in the showroom, right? They had a huge table, square. I had a bunch of Virginias and Bettys that worked with me, like a bunch of 70, 80-year-old women who were tired of nothing better to do. And they don't even need the money because they're on like, pension and Social Security, but they just want to pass time and talk to people on the phone. So it's me,
God.
Right? Two guys that are trying to make ends meet because they got like 3 baby mamas, and you had 14-year-old Dose, right? Sitting, and it's like, hey, would you like your carpet cleaned? Have you had, and just telemarketing for $7 an hour. It lasted a month, just enough to cover the bills, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh my God. Did you pay back the debt?
I paid back the debt, every single penny of it. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm on to better things. And I went on the classified again, found a telemarketing job for a mortgage company in 2002, right? And I worked for them it was an evening shift. I remember that. It was like 5 to 9. It was $10 an hour. I was 14, turning 15. I was making $10 an hour. I was caking. 15 years old, making $10 an hour in 2002. I mean, it was good income.
That's crazy.
I made a few more phone calls to that girl in Jersey, paid a few more $300 bills. And then when I started raking it in, I was like, I'm going to upgrade. Oh, I got my first cell phone. My first cell phone was a Nextel. Remember the whole chirp or bleep?
Oh, of course, dude. Those were the coolest.
Classic. Yeah, that was my first cell phone. I remember it was $90 a month. And I remember I had 300 minutes for the entire month. All you young people, right, who take...
That's right, dude. That sounds so familiar, a plan like that. 300 minutes.
300 minutes for $90 a month, and free nights and weekends. And nights started at 9 p.m. So
Jeez.
Remember? And
Yeah, you like looked forward to free nights and
yeah,
weekends.
yeah, you would just
The
send.
concept of unlimited nobody'd heard of that.
Nobody heard of that, right? There was no data. There was no internet on the phone. There was
Yeah, data, data. Yeah,
absurd pricing for it, right? And it looked like Windows 95 on it, right? And not even. And you had like 200 text messages allotted to you, right? And I remember 902, you start making phone 901, you start making phone calls because you don't want to
yeah,
get caught like at 9 o'clock and technically it was a glitch. It was 8:59,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you run up
yeah,
a $500 bill for talking for an hour
yeah.
before 9.
Oh my God, dude!
The meter was running. It was like a meter.
I remember in high school, so many of those Nokia phones got confiscated.
Oh, definitely.
Phones got confiscated. Hats got confiscated.
Yeah.
There was
But
like just a bunch of them.
remember the game Snake on the Nokias?
Snake, yeah. Everybody played Snake.
Fire. I still have
Fire, right? You do, really?
it. This is
And
good, man. I can get used to this. I can
yeah,
get used to
we
this.
got a lot more to cover. You guys who are listening and watching, thanks for hanging out with us. And yeah, we'll do this again. Come back and please like, comment, subscribe on all the respective platforms, and
Right.
share this if you can. Because
You
we're trying
can
to,
if you want.
yeah,
Whatever.
we're trying to get the word out there. So if it's not too much of a burden,
Burden.
if you'd be so kind. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.
Tell them your handle.
Oh yeah, my handle, you could see it there in the corner of my little Zoom screen. It's
Yeah.
at Christian John Comic. My YouTube channel is Christian John. So it's, how does it work? Well, my
This guy
email,
doesn't even know it's
no, because I don't know. I just made it.
easy.
I'm Christian John,
You are Christian John.
but the email, if you want to email me, you could reach me at christianjohncomedy@gmail.com.
Okay, so that's
And
the distinction versus
yeah,
comic and comedy.
yeah, christianjohncomedy@gmail.com. And then I don't know, because you know how you have like one username
What?
and password for all of Google and YouTube and all that.
Right. Google, YouTube, they're connected.
Yeah. So, and then I'm also going to be, oh, by the way, we haven't mentioned the handle for the actual podcast on Instagram. It's
Right.
at Lower East Side. Sorry,
No,
Lower Middle East Side. At
Middle East.
Lower Middle East Side. We should got
You
to
see
have
what we did there, right?
basically.
They see.
Our listeners and our viewers are smart. If they're hanging out with us,
They know what time it is.
yes, they know what time it is. So yeah.
We also have a YouTube. We're going to be posting this to our YouTube platform. It's
Yes.
the Lower Middle East Side, and it's on YouTube. So he's at Christian John Comic. He's on.
That's on Instagram, and Christian
yeah.
John Comedy or Christian John on YouTube. And I'll also be posting those clips on my personal YouTube. And then also you got this guy over here at The Daily Dose. The is THEE. All right.
My man knows. He
At
knows.
The Daily Dose. So
Right.
be sure to follow him.
If you want to
And
reach me, just slide up in my DM. You don't have to
Slide
email
up.
me. Slide up right
Slide
in the
up.
DM.
He likes that if you slide up in his DM. And yeah, thank you guys so much. You guys are great.
On the
And-
next episode, we're going to talk about sliding in the DM. FYI.
Oh, not a bad
Just
idea.
came up with that. Yeah.
Dude, there's been a lot of crazy people out. There's a lot of kooks.
A lot.
There are, right?
Too many.
We'll
We'll
get
talk
into
about that. Yeah, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. All right, guys. Good hanging out with you.
Peace, love from the Lower Middle East side.
Stay safe and don't touch your face.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.